Hi, it's Steffi from Steffi's Beads and Baubles, and I have this cute little polar bear ornament to show you today. One of my subscribers, Anna, asked me to do a polar bear, and I was excited to do it, but I had a couple other projects I had to tie up first. So I'm going to show you how to do him. Now, he was done with a cookie cutter, but you can just cut out a simple shape. You can see he's very simple, very easy, and you cut him out. And so the materials you're going to need are that cutout of a bear, a beading needle, beading thread of whatever kind you like, in any kind you like, and you're going to need several kinds of sequins. You're going to need a red sequin. I used a red metallic, but if you don't want to do a red color, you could do a blue or a black or a green. But whatever color you're going to use, these are cupped 5mm sequins. Then I used a 5mm cupped iridescent for the body. And then an 8mm, I only need one, for the ear. And then for the nose, you need one black, which I've already put on there. You just need one black sequin for the nose. And then a few black seed beads to secure the nose and to do the mouth. And then for the eye, I like to use a 6-0, and you could do a black or a blue, whatever color you want. I did black on my first one, and then I did blue on the other two. And I think I prefer the blue. I think it makes it stand out from the nose a little bit better. Alright, so let's show you how to make these guys. And you're going to start out, and you're going to take your piece of felt. Now, I don't normally draw on it, but if you wanted to, I just used a pencil and made a line to follow to do the collar. Now, I did this one a little tilted. You could do it straight, you could do it tilted. Every one of mine are different because I just did them by hand. But you're going to thread the needle and you're going to put a knot at the back. So you can see it's a pretty hefty knot. You're going to come up, and this is how I do it. You can do it however you want. But after I secure this, I'll tell you what I mean. So I go through it and I come back up. Now, I like to do the collar and then I do the body. Then that way most of it's done before you do the detail work. And to do this, I take one sequin, and these are cup sequins, so they are literally cupped. So I put the cup side down so that when I pick it up, it goes right side up on my needle, and I pick up one seed bead. I pull it down, and I get it as close to the edge, and I only go back through the sequin. You do not go back through the seed bead. And it's real easy to do, and if you do, it'll just both fall off. And I've done it. I still do it. Every ornament I make, I do it a few times. And then you just follow that line if you choose to put a line. You don't have to. And you're just going to go, and you're going to keep picking up a sequin and a seed bead. And I try to get them as close together as I can. And I push them so that this one slides under and kind of touches the string of the one before it. And that makes a nice tight fit so you don't see the felt. And you're going to follow it around till you get the whole collar done. Now, I'm not going to make you watch me do the whole collar because there's no need. I'll do one more. Whoops. Make sure you come back through before you do that. And then you're just going to follow it around until you get the whole collar done. So for the purpose of getting this done quickly for you, we're going to pretend I've done the whole collar now. And then I'm going to start up wherever. Now I would probably start here since I finished down there. But then I'm going to start the white, and the same thing. Put it cup side down so that it's cup side up. And these are a pearly white. You can use a clear seed bead, a white opaque seed bead, silver lined glittery seed bead. These are like a pearl white. I think they're called lustered pearl. Lustered pearl. And you can get one that's called Cylon that's kind of like that. And then what I do is I go around the whole outside of the bear. And I'm going to tell you why I do that. Let me just do a couple to show you. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to push it up as close as I can to the one next to it and go back through the seed bead. I mean the sequin only, not the seed bead. until I get the whole edge of the bear done. Now, why do I do the whole edge of the bear? This is why I do it. When you fill in from the top and go down, if you misgauge, you could end up with either too much room or not enough room. So in other words, when you put your last sequin, there's like half a sequin width left. Now you may ask me, well, what's the difference if you fill it in? Because you can overlap. So let's say I fill this whole thing in and then I start filling it in. When I get down here, I can fill in the gaps and overlap the sequins and fill it in. But once you make a mistake on the edge, you can't really fix it. And you'll end up with sequins too far over the edge or not close enough to the edge, and you're just not going to be happy with it. So I recommend going around the edge on the body like that. Then once the body's done, what I do next, now I would finish the body, tie it off, but again, I'm trying to do this quickly for you. Then the first thing I do is I did the nose earlier because it's all the way by itself, but you can work your way over to the nose. But you put the ear on, and you don't have to do this step. It has a little bump that's supposed to be the ear. And when I've showed this to a couple people said, yeah, they like the ear. And a couple people said, no, they would just leave the bump. So you can do, and again, make sure you only go through the sequin. And you go back through, whoops. Go back through, pull it tight, and that could be your ear. Now you don't have to do the ear like that. You can just fill the whole thing in with regular sequins and that's fine. But if you do the ear, then what you're going to want to do is come back here because now that's there because I jumped. I normally wouldn't jump. Now in the face I will jump because it's such a small place, but I will go through it a few times like this. This is how I tie it off whenever I finish something on one of these. I go around 3 or 4 times one direction, then I'll go the other direction, and then I'll go back that direction. Okay, then I'm going to jump down to the eye. Now, I put the eye kind of coming straight down from the ear a little bit. And I'm going to pick a pretty blue. Now, let me find one that looks pretty square. You're going to want to leave enough room for that bead to lay flat. Let me show you. See? You want it to lay flat like that so you get all the color. If it's tilted, it won't look as pretty, or if it's sideways. So you want to pick a slightly fat one so that it will lay flat. Then again, on these you only have to secure it a tiny bit. I didn't have to go through it as many times as I did, but I was just showing you. 2 times through, that'll hold it in place. And then I would jump over and do the nose, but I already did that. Now you're going to do the little mouth, and you're going to come up, and I probably would secure it, go down and come back up again, just to secure that thread very nicely. Now, you're going to put on about 6 black seed beads. So I'm picking them up over on the other side of the mat. See, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we'll get one more. All right, and then you're going to pick where you want the mouth to be and do the start. And now I did make a mistake here that I'm going to fix because frankly you should start the mouth from the other end. Honestly, I wasn't thinking when I did that you really want to start it from the other end because then you've got more room to move. If you start it in the middle and you put too many beads, there's nowhere you can go. So frankly, ignore what I just did. This is my mistake for this video. I always have one, at least, because I make mistakes every time I make an ornament and I have to tear out at least a little something every time. Okay, so start where you want the mouth to go to. You're not going to go right up to the edge because like I've told you, felt is very fragile. And if you go right to the edge, it could tear out. So secure it with a couple stitches. You know, just go in and out a couple times because you are close to the edge. And then you're going to add your 6 beads. And get them on there. One more. Okay. Now you can decide how you want the little mouth to go. Do you want it to be a straight line? If you want it to be like a little a little smile, you can do that. And it's not that hard to do. You just kind of arch it slightly from where you started. So wherever you start, just kind of arch it and go up to that place. And then, okay, you've got a little bit of an arch there. You can go down, and right in the middle, come up and go down. And you're going to hold that in place, like that. But then you're going to want to go back up and through all the beads so you don't have that line down the middle. And it's really very easy. And there you have a little smile. And then all you're going to do after that is start filling it around. You've already got everything else beaded. And you're just going to pick a spot. I go back down. Pick a spot and just start. You can start along the collar if you want. And just start adding sequins, like you can outline again, or you can just add them. But I do put them around the edge of this so that you can tuck the ear in a little bit. So when you do this, go right up as close as you can and kind of tuck them. I'll show you real quick what I mean. I'll come up here. Now I would be cutting this off, tying it off, by the way. But I'm not going to make you wait while I do all that. So you're just going to take, and you're going to put them around the ear. You've already done a couple rows. And then you're going to do these little sequins right around the ear. Or you can do those first if you want. You just want to make it so they just slightly overlap all the way around the ear to hold it in place. Alright, so once you've got him done, the next step is you're going to stitch him together. Now, I'm going to show you two stitches today. Normally I only do one, but first I'm going to show you the collar because I added the bell, which is something a little different. So I'm going to start the neck down a couple stitches here, and I come up between the two layers and I pull it like that, and then I tuck the tail in and I go from the back. I come back around, making sure I go between the sequins and pull it. Now once I have that loop, I put on 3 seed beads. And what you're going to do is make a little triangle. So you're going to come back right next to that where you just did it. Remember, come up under the sequins. Do not come up in between, because if you come up the middle of a sequin like this, when you come out, you're going to make a line of thread over it. So make sure you go under or between them. Okay? So once you've gone through and you've come back up, now you're going to go to the very last sequin or seed bead that you put on there, and you're going to come up through it like that and make a little triangle. You see the little triangle? And you're going to keep doing that. Now I'm going to do another white triangle, and you're only going to add 2. Once you have your triangle, it only takes 2 to continue the triangle all the way around the piece. That's the cool part. Okay, now I'm to the edge of the collar. Do you see that? So now I'm going to switch over to red. And I'm going to get 2 red seed beads. And that's how you segue to another color, is you just go to the edge and then start adding that color. And then I want to add the bell. So I'm going to put the bell on instead of 1 seed bead. Okay, see if it'll cooperate with me. Instead of one of the seed beads, I'm going to put on the bell, and then I'll put on the other red seed bead. And then I'll come up and around and pull it through just like I did at seed beads, and there you go. The little bell's hooked on. Then I go back to my white and keep going like that. I'm going to go back up to back up through that last seed bead, and you keep doing that all the way around. Okay, now the other stitch I wanted to show you is, if you look at this one, I did that triangular stitch, and look how tight that is. Do you see how tight that is? But on this one, look how much neater that looks. And I'm going to show you what I did different. See the difference? See? Also, this is a different felt I used that I really like. I got it either Walmart or Hobby Lobby, and I like the ribbed look. Okay, so what I'm going to do that different look is I'm going to take, and I already did an edge, just pretend I've already edged it all the way around. And now I've gotten to the leg. Alright, so I've gotten to the leg. I've already been edging, and I've got the edge up to the end of the leg. Okay? I'm going to take one seed bead, and I'm going to go in with just one, and then come up through it. And I'm going to do that through the whole, oops, I just tied a knot, look at that. I guess I made 2 mistakes this time, guys. I don't know what the heck just happened. It's really hard to do this from behind the camera. I'm telling you, this little tiny beadwork, I made a knot there. Is what I did. Oh my goodness. Let me see if I can get that out. I might as well show you how you get a knot out. Because this happens too when you do this. It's just a very simple little thing I did here. But you can see it's tangled. There, it's just tangled. Okay, then I'm going to get the thread back on the needle and show you what I did. Okay. I apologize. It's not live TV, but it's real. Okay, so I just added 1 bead instead of 2. Okay, and then I'm going to come up through that 1 bead like this. Okay. And pull it tight. And then I'm just going to keep doing that all the way around. And it's, the way to make it help you is, I've got another thread on here from the beginning, so normally you wouldn't have another thread on there. So I apologize for that. Okay, it's easier to come through the back when you're doing this sometimes. And just make sure you come up underneath the sequins, see? You see that? And then up through the 1 seed bead. And just keep doing that. Whoop. That time I caught on the sequin. And this will happen to you a lot. Oh, a lot. You'll get frustrated sometimes. But it's just the way it is. And just keep doing that all the way around till you get back to here, and then start doing your 3 seed beads again. And that way it'll give you this look in the tight spots. Now, I always do this. If I have like a little tiny tight spot, I might go into a single stitch for a couple stitches. Now, the last question is, how do I finish this? I've made the whole ornament. How do I finish it? And I have right here, I'm going to show you how to finish it. I thought I had the thread on the needle for you. I apologize. Okay, now I've gotten all the way around. I've done the whole thing. Now I've only got a couple stitches left. Look at that. Can you see? I'm going to add on my 2 seed beads, because I've got 1 more full stitch I can do. I'm coming in between the seed beads like the sequins like that. Okay, now see, that comes up right flush with the last stitch when I pull it around. Okay, now there's the very first stitch you did was right there. So then you're just going to take 1 bead, that's it, 1, and go down through that first one, but you're going to do this from the back and come out the back like this. And then once you've done that, it's finished. And then you're just going to do that stitch I've showed you before, where you just go around. And like I've said before in my videos, if it makes you nervous, you can always put a dot of glue on it. But I've been doing these for 30 years, and this is all I've ever done to secure it. I have never once had one come undone, ever. Okay, and then you can go back through it a couple other directions if you want. But anyway, that's how you finish it. Now, how do you stuff it? That's really easy. When you get it, you can start when it's like this or when it's half done. Sometimes I'll do it from the beginning, and it's kind of easier when you have lots of little spots. I'll just take the cotton and I'll shred it. And I'll just try to fluff it around till it fits into like the legs and the head, and the torso. It's easier to do it this way than if you try to stuff it. I have done that where I stuff it in, but it tends to lump a little bit more. If you want it to be really nice and flat, you just put it in and then just hold it shut while you're edging it, and it'll be just fine. You can adjust it as you go. If you want to add a little more stuffing as you go, you can. And you don't have to stuff it, but that's how I do it. Then the loop. All you do for the loop, and I'll show you on this guy here, all you do for the loop is you get your string, and I've got one here all ready to go, and I take my needle and I hang it until I find where I like it. I hang it on the beads, and then when you get it to where it looks really straight, you come in and you find that seed bead right there, and you come up through that seed bead right there, and you come up, and you can hide it behind there, and I do that sometimes, but for the sake of this, you know, it doesn't really matter. You're never going to see it. Now you're going to put on about 6 inches worth of seed beads in whatever color you want. You could do the white on this, you could do red, you could do anything. And then once you get 6 inches on, we're going to pretend I have 6 inches. You're going to go over to the next flat seed bead, and you're going to go through and back down in. Now I'm not going to do it because I've only got 6 seed beads on there, but you're going to come back through, and then you're going to do that where you've knotted around this way and around this way and around this way, and that'll hold it on. And you can actually put the tail in there and cover it with the thread. And then when you're done, this is what you got. And it's always right around 3. This one's a little shorter. I didn't have my ruler with me. This one's about 2.5 inches long right there. Here, I'll show you. 2.5. I normally do them 3 inches, so he's a little short, but whatever length. You can do it a 3-inch hook, you could do longer, you can do shorter. But anyway, that's my little polar bear. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will put a link, or not a link, but a list of all the supplies in the description box below. And I will also have pictures on my blog, along with a picture of the felt cutout on this grid to show you the size and the shape of it, so that if you want to try to draw it out, you can. I do not have a way of doing templates right now. I'm not sure if my blog supports that. I've got to do more research. But until then, you can find a cookie cutter, or you can freehand a bear, or you can print out a pretty picture of a bear online and cut it out and then trace it onto cardboard. All kinds of ways you can do it. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll be back soon with another ornament video. And I've got a couple other videos I'm going to share with you this week as well. Some other projects that are not ornaments. Thank you so much. Bye.